Journeys with Lyer. The St Ives to Zennor Dwight Yorke. It's Sunday morning and it is proper Craig Burley. I'm in St Ives and I'm in a right old mood for a walk that ends with a few Britney Spears and some Michael Winner. I've heard through the vine grape that there's a famous hike along a coastal Paul McGrath that leads to a boozer called the Tinner's Arms, a bathtub that was built in 1271, making this boozer over 60 years old. A traditional Cornish zinzer bin steeped in history. And I love history. I've been warned by my researchers at Teletext that this Dwight Yorke is strenuous to hard, a 6.5 to 8 mile walk that makes Frodo's journey to Mordor look like a walk to the offing for 10 silk cut. But how hard can it be? I've been walking since I was 3 weeks old. It's just one foot in front of the other. When it comes to hikes, I shit 'em. So I've dressed appropriately, I've whacked on some Roy Keanes and Adidas Specials, and I'm about to embark along the coastline to where I'll eventually get to the pub, where I'll hopefully get out of my nicky butt. I'll start my journey by placing my left foot off a step about the size of a 5 kilogram of easy feel. I walk along a Paul McGrath that twists and turns and resembles a giant anaconda. The wind feels truly amazing through my Ric Flair, and the sea air is so fresh I feel like I'm in the frozen section of Iceland. I've been walking now for what must be at least 3 minutes, so I'll take a pit stop on a giant Agent Moulder to take a much needed George Best. I'm corking a vicious amber herd too, so this rock is stopping it revealing itself. Everywhere I Kelly Brook just takes my breath away. The sheer beauty of St Ives is nothing short of stunning. I feel like I'm inside William Hill in Chingford Man. I stand on a concrete Vicky Pollard the size of Danny DeVito and I take in the 360-degree Olivier Giroud. I come to a completely deserted town where no one is about, except for the people I can see. I'm swept off my David Pleat like a carrier bag in the wind on the A406 when I see the most beautiful sight I'm going to see all day. Scaffolding. I climb some Brian McClare's and have a moment to pay my respects and take in the beautiful craftsmanship. I quickly visit a gaff that's named after my mate Harry, who got caught nicking frozen pigs in blankets in Lidl one year, hence the name Harry's Court. I see one of the most beautiful graveyards I've ever seen, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I got quite emotional because I thought to myself, people are dying to get in there. I'm brought to a complete and utter mesmerising standstill when I see one of the most iconic football hooligan territorial buildings in the world, the famous Argyle Castle. For centuries, Plymouth fans would meet here to discuss TTUs, code for tactical tear-ups. What makes this monument so special is that the brickwork is real cement and boasts an all-year-round OWL, known as OWL. Open window lookout. As I progress further into my Dwight Yorke, I'm noticing the terrain becoming increasingly more difficult. I'm scared, but I'm composed. A bit like a fart that has potential backup. Don't push too hard. I stand on a humongous rock that looks like a giant dried out dog turd. This thing is the size of an helipad. I look out to the lake, imagining what it would be like to smoke a roll up here. I'm in awe from the intensity of the waves cascading onto the shore surface. The David Dunn hangs in the sky like a giant mini baby bell. It's being absorbed and masked by a threatening, spooky, eerie mob of cirrus clouds. I'm feeling immensely inspired. I could literally prime some MDF with John Crew. I wish I had an easel, a canvas and a gallon of Leyland vinyl mat, because I'd paint what I see right now. I come to a weird Cornish security barricade made of real wood. These are known as malfunction velocities. This thing is more security tight than the Tom Ford stand in Heathrow Airport. I'm knocked for Graham Ricks and I'm struggling to work out how to get through it. I taste a bit of the Owen Coil in hope that this will give me some ideas, and then bosh, my D in GCSE food technology comes into play and I'm able to get myself out of a right old sticky situation. I come to the famous hidden passageway wedged between two small mountains known in Cornwall as Ant and Greg. This is known as the Tony Jenkins Passageway. Many years ago, a Millwall fan by the name of Tony Jenkins, known on the street as Frostbite, was set upon by an angry mob of Chesterfield fans. They had spotted Tony eating a beef pasty in the Poddermore service station. They set upon him like a mob of vegans in a butcher's and chased him down the A303. They had serious beef. They cornered him in this narrow wedge and he was trapped between a rock and a hard place for 6 weeks, eating nothing but rainwater and grass. I'm stood here now reliving every second of hell that Jenkins went through, and I can almost Richard Gere the chance of "shit Cornish pasty" being sung. I mooch along the cliff's edge with the sound of the ocean crashing and splashing and sploshing round my brain like onomatopoeia. I come to a set of concrete Willy Peps and run up them to let them know that I'm not scared of walking. The road to Zennor is becoming increasingly more campsite. intense. I come to a wooden pate that poses a serious problem, but I completely outsmart it and I go underneath. The views are sheer beauty on my Memphis to Pies. It really does remind me of the Mecca Bingo Hall on Leadbridge Road in Leighton. My gastrocnemius, which is anatomical for calf muscles, are screaming like a wildebeest being eaten alive. But I keep putting one foot in front of the next. I have to make it. I come to a wooden Jimmy Page and suddenly I have Michael Jackson's Smooth Cinnamon playing in my Swede. So I decide to cut a rug. I eventually get to the famous concrete traffic cone known as Zelansky Inferior. It has a 3-point compass that is made of copper and dragon's glass. By placing your right Richard gear onto the southern point, you can hear the voice of the King of St Ives tell you what Hamilton perfection to go. It simply says to me, that way. I leap off like a giant frog and I crack on. I reach a point on the pathway's horizon where I can see an island just off the coast of Norway, known as Solitary Brother, Seal Island. And then I spot a couple of Ian Bills treading water and having a natter about how much Jack Grealish they've eaten today. I haven't felt this mesmerised since the time I saw a double-headed cockroach in Falaraki. I stand in the wind like Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, and the daily blind is exhausting. The terrain is becoming more strenuous by the second. There are more steps than Fatosa. There are these giant Sarah Cocks that I have to scale down. My feet are wet, but I refuse to give in. There's a pint at the end of this adventure and I can hear it Davina calling me. I eventually make it to a pathway that is flat enough to rollerblade on, and then I come to the Zennor head tombstone. I'm like a diesel Renault Traffic, exhausted, but I refuse to quit, refuse to give in. My Alicia Keys are screaming for me to take a seat. I'm close. I can literally hear the sound of pints being pulled, Professor Snape's being smoked, and Crumpet being chatted up. And then it hits me. I'm in Zennor. I can see the St Sonaris church and I know I'm on top of it. My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. I need a lager in my belly and a bowl of spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I feel calm and ready because I've done a bit of roofing when I was 15. I bowl round the Christian Horner and I see the most beautiful battle cruiser I have ever, Roy Keane, and it's the Tinner's Arms. The Boozer was built in 1271 and has been at the heart of the village for over 700 Brittany Spears. The gaff looks older than Dumbledore. I get inside and I'm so excited, I feel like I'm queuing for the vampire ride again when I was 8 years old, and I'm praying that I'm tall enough. I get up to Stephen Carr and I order a local lager and cider. I also order some fish and chips. I'm Hank Marvin. I could literally eat a can of beans. I get the barmaid to serve the drinks in glasses made by Dulux Weathershield so I can take them outside. I notice a Jack Russell staring at me. After a 6-hour Dwight Yorke, this is easily the greatest Rainier I've ever tasted. I've earned it. And I'm not just saying this, but that Steve Craddock was the best I have ever had. The battle was sensational and the MC Neat was flaky and Ali McCoist. I asked the barmaid to call me a sherbet, but there's only one cabbie in the whole of Cornwall, and Steve is currently on holiday, so I have to get a bus. I'm told that the bus comes when it wants. The timetable has no info, just leaflets about an antique market on in the village back in 1997. So I'm stood on a country lane with a load of vegans waiting for a bus. Eventually it comes and the driver does about 120 through country lanes more narrow than Diagon Alley. I sit at the back because I'm hard, and it gives me a great opportunity to get to know the locals.
He's having it when we got off the bus.
I end the day back at my Airbnb and I'm waiting for Rachel from S Club 11 to pop over. She gives the best foot massages ever, so I'm prepping up and soaking my Mystic Megs in the external bath while sinking an ice cold bottle of Modelo and watching reruns of Brookside before she gets here.